Hi YouTube! We're about to do another episode of the Free to Be podcast. So thank you for tuning in and being here. I'm excited. Let's do this. Presence in the body. Hello and welcome back to the Free to Be podcast. I am your host, Annalene, and it is a pleasure to be here with you today. So I just want to real quick start off by prefacing that there are people outside doing some work on the neighbor's house. So if you hear any weird noises or sounds, it is likely that, and I do apologize. But we're gonna power through. It's gonna be beautiful and perfect, just as it is. Also, I want to acknowledge the fact that I have not created a podcast episode in a while. And that is because I was preparing to go on a trip to Hawaii, where I went on a medicine and music retreat, which was absolutely magical, heavenly, so beautiful. And I'm so grateful for it. And then when I came back, I was deep in integration. And I also started a coaching program called Elementum. It's a 9-month journey, and it started while I was away in Hawaii. And so coming back home and trying to integrate and also play catch up and also return as mom and land my feet here in Colorado, there was just a lot of things that were coming up for me. And I had to give myself the time and space that my body and my being were craving. And so thank you for supporting me in that, understanding that, loving that part of me, and honoring that part of me. There were so many emotions that came up that were needing to be felt when I came home from Hawaii, and I will happily speak on this journey with you all when I feel the time is right, when I feel inspired to. But right now, I want to touch on people pleasing. I posted to my Instagram a few different options of things to start diving into, and there were quite a few votes for people pleasing. And this is something that today feels alive for me because I posted a vulnerable reel on Instagram, and it was one of me in just my bra and underwear, which were like pretty, it was orange and like a nude color, so pretty like close to my skin tones, and I felt very raw and naked, and I was exposed and allowing myself to be seen and to be felt. I was practicing tuning in with my body and my feelings and my senses. And this practice is so powerful, and I know how transformative it's been for my life, and so I wanted to share that. And there was a part in me, in my soul, that wanted to be witnessed and seen. And that is fully allowed. We are fully allowed to express ourselves. We are fully allowed to be received. And you can't be received if you are not giving of yourself. And I've talked about this in a previous episode, how within giving there is receiving, and within receiving there is giving. And it's very beautiful, and love cannot enter when there is closeness. But when we are open, then love can penetrate our entire being. And so I'm cultivating more beings into my life, into my community and my sphere and tribe of more beings that are open, that have open hearts, or at least desire to have more openness and more open hearts and minds, because then that is how love can come in and enter, and that is what heals all. that is what transforms and liberates us. Love, because it is free and unconditional and so graceful and beautiful, it does not enter where the door is closed, where people don't want it to come in. It respects your own sovereignty. And whatever paradigm you're choosing, it fully loves and respects you and will not force itself because of the nature of love. So anyways, there's that nice little preface. Is that how you say it? Preface? Preface? I don't know. But there is that. And so diving into people pleasing and going back to that little story that I shared about the Instagram post, there was a part of me that felt really nervous to share that because of my rawness and vulnerability. In the past, I have had so much shame over my body, and I still do sometimes, and that's totally natural and beautiful. And instead of shaming myself even more or shunning the feelings that are wanting to be felt and seen, I allow myself to dive into it and see myself even more and give myself even more presence and more grace. So what came up with me were these sounds and of like my own projection, like people are gonna judge me or shame me or think that I'm like, I don't know, ugly or annoying or I shouldn't post something like that, you know, whatever it is. And those thoughts in my head, I had to get out of my head and bring them down into my body and feel them and be with them. And you can't do that unless you're in the present moment. So I was tuning into the present moment in my body and allowing myself to feel without any judgment. The key is compassion. Letting myself know that I'm here, that it's okay. And so I was breathing, because breathing always brings you to the present moment, and it can move the energy, it can move the emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. When we resist or we don't allow ourselves to look at it or feel it, it clogs and makes the energy stuck, which creates anxiety or more fear or anger, whatever it might be. Oftentimes anxiety though. So if you're a highly anxious person, it's probably because there's some more intense emotions within that are just begging you to be felt. And you can hire somebody to work through this with you, or you can practice holding yourself and allowing yourself to know that you are safe to feel and turn off that analytical mind and that critical part of you and allow yourself to just feel. So I was allowing myself to feel, and there are moments where I started crying. There are moments where I started shaking. And I always came back to my breath. Sometimes in one of my paradigms and patterns is that I will be super quick to turn something that I perceive as bad or negative and make it positive, instead of just allowing what it is to be there. It's so important to allow. So in the past, having these thoughts, I would have been consumed by them and I wouldn't have posted it. That is something that I would consider people pleasing. It's because I would never post something like that because I don't want people to see me a certain way, because that could be deemed as bad or inappropriate. So it would have been not posting for the sake of others, which is really for the sake of my own perceived identity, ego, right? So naturally the intention behind people pleasing, I understand, is coming from a place of just wanting to be loved, right? But the most important part to look at is within. And what really is love here? For me, it was allowing myself to be seen and to share my creativity, my heart's desire, my expression. So out of love, I did post it, right? And some people might feel people pleasing in forcing themselves to post, thinking that they need to achieve a certain thing. But freedom and liberation comes from quieting the outside noise and going within and listening to ourselves. When I stopped putting such a heavy weight on what other people may or may not think of me, I was able to more deeply allow myself to be whatever it was and is in each and every now moment. When I'm constantly thinking about what other people might think or say or do or believe, that's me projecting. And it's actually my own projections. And it's not my responsibility anyways, what somebody else may think, say, or do. It has nothing to do with me at all. But we can get so attached to these thought forms and ideas. We can get so attached to our own projections. So those thoughts that I was having, oh, they're not gonna like me, or this is inappropriate, that wasn't even anybody else's thoughts. Those were my own fears speaking. So I had to bring them inward and be present with them and allow them the space and energy and presence to move so that they weren't dictating and controlling my life, and I can go deeper and I can liberate myself and then post the thing despite of the fear. The fear doesn't hold you back anymore or keep you in chains. By sitting with the fear, it naturally dissolves. And then it allows you to do the thing. So I know that this was just a short little snippet on people pleasing, on emotions and feeling your feelings. But this is something that's been very alive for me lately. It's something that's in the field. I've been allowing myself to express myself more and honor my impulses and desires and allowing myself to dream bigger. And that's a very beautiful thing. And that's something that I desire for every single one of you listening. And I believe it is possible for every single soul on this planet to return to a place of love and allow themselves to be all that they are, which you get to create. It has to do with the paradox of life. It's like how you're everything and nothing. You're the higher self and the ego. It's like quieting the judgments and allowing your higher self, which is not attached to anything, come in and move from that place. And also, it's really fun as your awareness expands and your consciousness expands. Eventually, you can really tap into your ego and use it in a way that honors your higher self, because the two become one in this beautiful marriage. Because in this lifetime, as a human being on earth, that is what we're here to do. You have both your mind, your body, and your soul. all of these different elements and parts of you experiencing this space and time. And so it's up to you to decide what you want to do with that. So thank you for listening. I do want to share that I have a course called I Matter starting April 5th. It is 4 weeks long. We meet every Tuesday, and all meetings are going to be recorded, so you'll get access to it whether you are live or not. And we will be going over why we matter, identity, tricks of having an identity, benefits of creating your own identity, the balance of the two, why we matter, love, our divinity, sisterhood, all the beautiful things. And I'll be teaching you more embodiment practices to really drop into your body and allow yourself to get to know all parts of you on a deeper level, and also to just have fun. We're just gonna have fun together and support one another, and it's gonna be so beautiful. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, DM me on Instagram, check the link in my bio. It is free2be_Annalene. Find me, I believe in you, you got this. It's gonna be so beautiful, and I'm really excited for the magic that unfolds. It is $111 right now, and then starting April 1st, starting April 1st, it's gonna be $222. So get on that now. And thanks for your patience with me, your love and grace with me. I know that this episode was a lot more slow. My energy feels a lot more mellow. And so I just pray and know that whatever messages needed to be entered into your body naturally happened and is happening on its own. And I don't actually have to do anything. Spirit gets to do it all. And so thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your love, for your presence. And I wish you all of the best on this beautiful journey. We'll talk soon. Much love. Bye. Thanks, YouTube. I love you. Also, yes, I did get a haircut. And I would love to maybe make an episode on that too. Otherwise though, check out my Instagram because I have a really amazing caption talking about why I chopped off my hair. And so there's all these beautiful things that I desire to share. It's just that human part of me that's like, there's no time, you know? And there's always time. But I also honor and love myself, and I trust that when I feel that impulse, when it is time, I will know it. And if I don't feel that, I'm not gonna force it or make it happen. It doesn't mean I have to share the Hawaii story or I have to share why I cut my hair. And I desire that for you too, to fully honor yourself in every aspect of life and wherever you are. Yeah. So, I love you. Thanks for being here. Many blessings.